All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 686 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And if you're watching this on the YouTube or Rumble, I have a new camera, and the camera looks phenomenal. And it looks so good. I don't want to use the other one that I have right here because it'll look so bad comparing the two. And I may just buy a second one like this because this one is absolutely excellent. I love it. I love it. So hopefully you can see me better. The depth of field is much better. And also that we have, just a better, clearer view of what I'm doing over here. So hopefully that works out. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the show. We're going to be talking some Atlanta Falcons football. I know there's a lot going on with Georgia Southern as well, but I will kindly direct you guys to a podcast. It's called GATA Talk, GATA Talk podcast. They go way in depth of what happened with James Madison and Georgia Southern. So I'll put the link down in the description so you guys can listen to that if you are into listen to some Georgia Southern stuff. They do more Georgia Southern stuff that's direct. I do stuff on a daily basis talking about two teams, but if you're, they just have a different perspective on things than I do, but they're definitely talking about that loss. So if you want to talk about that or listen to that, I'll have the link down in the description. Shout out to those guys. They do great work. But nevertheless, we're going to talk some Atlanta Falcons because there's a lot to unpack here. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. I highly recommend you check out the podcast on those avenues because sometimes this avenue, if you're watching, it kind of acts wonky sometimes. So it's good to subscribe to both avenues just in case if one goes down because it does happen. Nevertheless, I could be found on Twitter at VFBaller, and the website is firstandframerates.com. All right, let's just get into this. I believe that this is indirect, and I'm not here to really talk down on Desmond Ridder because there are some things that we could talk about, like the interceptions. I mean, I guess we can talk about that a little bit. But overall, I think Desmond Ridder played fairly well. But I will say this. I think Coach Arthur Smith is indirectly sabotaging Desmond Ridder at this point. I believe, and I've been on record, and I'm not going to change it. I think Desmond Ridder is above average quarterback. I think he's going to be able to have a pretty decent career in the NFL. I just don't think that we have that elite quarterback, that Matt Ryan type, or anybody that's, above the top 10 or top 10 or above type of quarterback when Desmond Ridder. He has every right to prove me wrong, and I'll eat crow, but I just don't see it. I just don't know. Because, even after all this time, I believe that you will see some flashes of that. I believe that we have a guy that's above average. I think he could be a pretty good solid quarterback. But if we're talking about the quarterbacks that we see that are doing, really well right now, like top echelon, I don't think he'll be that guy. And it's not a problem. It's not a bad thing. But with that being said, I think Coach Arthur Smith is stunting his growth to be that solid to good quarterback that he can be. With the play calling, and come to find out there's rumors going around, and I think it's not even a rumor. I think Matt Ryan basically said that this, Dave Ragone is not getting the plays in on time, and is really making Desmond Ridder panic when it's time to perform the plays that are called. And like I said, that's all on Coach Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith, I know he's a pretty decent play caller. He didn't get this job for just standing around, so he knows what he's doing. But if you're trying to get your offensive coordinator some shine, if you're trying to get your offensive coordinator some name recognition, maybe you need to show him a little bit more than how to get things going when it's time to perform. Because it caused Desmond Ridder to panic, in my opinion, and throw that interception, at least the first one. I ain't gonna say it's the first one. I don't think it was the first one. The one that was to Desmond Ridder in the end zone. It really caused that to happen. And it's really unfortunate because we should have won that game, or we should at least tied the game. All the plays was, first and goal at the 2, and, we had a delay of game. That was not getting the play in on time. And then the play that you did was not necessarily the best play. in my opinion, I felt like they should have went to Bijan, whether it be in a flat or you get him on a decent route in the red zone or inside the 10. You should use him or Kyle Pitts. And I'm not saying it was a bad idea to use Desmond Ridder. Not a bad idea to use Drake London because you got a lot of big receivers on this team. But these guys, those two guys are the ones in the red zone that are very, very reliable. And like I said, it's not nothing to take away from Drake London because, he's shown to be that dude. This dude is mossing people. He's catching the ball with his hands. He has come up very big in these last couple of games. He had over 120 yards this game. So he's that dude. But in the red zone or in the end zone or when you're close to the end zone, I think it's been proven that Bijan and Kyle Pitts are probably like your number one and number two. You can change those any way you want to get the points. There's other plays that we've seen throughout the season that we're starting to look at and say, okay, is it necessarily Desmond Ridder or is it the coach? Because he's not necessarily putting guys in a good position, especially Desmond Ridder, to win football games. Look at what he done earlier in the game. He went for 2 when it was not needed. And he started to reference something that he did last year. Like that what happened last year is last year, bro. And what you did last year was a different quarterback, an inferior quarterback, in my opinion, to Desmond Ridder. Why would you do that? And the thing is, like, take the points, let this kid build his confidence, and so he can continue to grow and mature to the quarterback he needs to be. But now you're down by 8. You're gonna put more pressure on this kid to do more than what he needs to do to win a game. And I really feel that Coach Arthur Smith is not doing what he needs to do to make things happen for this quarterback and for this team. You can put kids in all types of positions to really to be really successful. Your defense is doing everything that they have to do to put the offense in positions to score a lot of points. And I mean a lot of points. This team could easily, put up 30 or more easily. It's just that we're not trying to make things happen for this team. You also have to understand, in the fourth quarter, we were able to run the ball pretty well. And I know Tyler Algier got stuck at the line, at the goal line when we were supposed to score right there. But I feel like you could take another shot at the run before you can, abandon it altogether. Or you can make a play where you could just go jumbo and probably put Bijan or Algier. Hell, you can even put Cordell Patterson back there to get you a couple yards if you go jumbo. Put Storm Norton out there, or put somebody out there to bully this defensive line. And I know that the defensive line for the Commanders was doing very well, but they were getting softened up a little bit. So just you got to understand, like, you got to put your guys in a position to put points on the board and to have a situation where these guys feel like they can, come back and win this game. But you can't have them down by 8 when you don't need for them to go for 2. It was really frustrating watching that. Now, I'm going to get on Desmond Ridder a little bit. Even if, and I know that, he's, people want to go get on me and say he's new. He doesn't know that much as far as running plays. But if and on that last drive that you need to get out of bounds or whatever, why are we running a slant to Bijan Robinson? Even if you did, I wouldn't even look that way. I wouldn't even look that way because you need to get out of bounds. I would look that way. If it doesn't look wide open, I'm throwing the ball out of bounds where it won't be necessarily an intentional grounding. We gotta put our quarterback in position. To me, I don't think he's limited, but I already know what what he is. He could be a solid quarterback at the end of the day, but right now, you need to get him in a rhythm for him to be that guy. You have to understand that we need to get this guy together so he will be able to make those type of decisions. And even if Coach Arthur Smith should have said, look, if the slant's not there, bail on it. Because you got to go out of bounds. But no, he throws the ball to Bijan Robinson, which is probably not necessarily a fault of his own. I mean, the ball placement could be better, but he probably was told to run that play and throw right there. And the ball was behind him and it was picked off. Game over. It was really abysmal. And that's something that needs to be cleaned up from here on out. Like, look, now we're 3-3. We have a lot of football left to go. A lot of football left. I mean, look, what? It's 17-game season. You got 6 games in. You basically got 11 games left. I mean, you got some time to at least win 5 to 7 more games. Me, preferably, I would want you to win, at least 8 of those next 11. But I don't know. It's just, and it's not on the defense. And to be in some cases, it's not even on Desmond Ridder. It's this guy that you see on the screen here. I mean, he has to do better at getting these players in position to do something great. I like I said, I don't think Desmond Ridder is all at fault, but those interceptions were terrible. But I will say that the coaching staff put him in a bad spot. They put him in a bad spot. The defense did what they're supposed to do, and I like what they did. They was able to continuously stop the bleeding from our team, because our team was pretty much getting beat down on the offensive side. But defensively, those guys were holding it down so we can still have a chance to win this game. So, something needs to be done with that. This is not the best look for Coach Arthur Smith. This is not a good look. And I think he needs to do much better at play calling, getting these guys in position to win these games, because these games are very winnable. Very winnable. I think I said that right. Very winnable. But I'm going to get out of here, man. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I think he's doing it indirectly, man. He's sabotaging them, and it kind of sucks. It doesn't have to be this way, but hopefully things will change. Hopefully things will change for the better. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. I'm going to get out of here, guys. It's been a great Monday for me. Hopefully it's been the same for you guys. I will see you guys on the next one. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy, and y'all be blessed. Peace.